Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about angles and measures and different way to write angle measures. Okay, so our standard position, an angle position so that its vertex is at the origin. Okay, so here's my vertex sitting at the origin. And its initial side is along the positive x-axis. So it always starts here, and then we can make certain angle degrees look like this. Okay, so it always starts from the center. It always has a line going across the x-axis. Okay, so my positive angle measures, we always start at 0. If I make an angle go like this, it's going to hit at 90. Okay, all the way across is 180. If I keep going, it's going to be 270. And then all the way around makes a circle, so 360. Okay, we could also go clockwise and go the opposite direction to get negative. So we're going to start at 0 here. We are going to go negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, and negative 360. So that would be going this direction if I wanted to. Okay, so draw an angle with the given measured in its standard position, so 210. Okay, we are going to start it from our start point, and then we're going to go around. So this one is 90, 180, 270, so I need to sit between 180 and 270. And there is my 210. Okay, my next one is negative 45, so we're going the opposite direction. So we start from our starting point. Okay, it goes from 0, this is 90, so here is my angle going for the negative direction. Okay, my next one is 540. So first off, let's take one rotation around, so 360. Okay, if I take that away, I'm going to have 80 left. Excuse me, 180 left. Okay, so I need to include that one rotation around, so I'm starting. Okay, I have one rotation around, and then I need to have another 180 degrees. So there is what it's going to look like. Okay, we can also use another measurement. Instead of doing degrees, we also have this thing called radian. So it's going to be a unit measured by angle. So if I do arc length divided by radius, so if I draw a circle in here, we have our radius and our arc measure, or our measurement of our angle, okay? This is the same thing as the arc length. Okay, so we're going to take that length, since they measure the exact same degrees, divided by a radius. Okay, so if I want to think about it in a big circle hole, okay, I've got my regular radius here, so that's going to be a regular r in the bottom. If I go all the way around my circle, we call that my circumference. My circumference equation is 2 pi r. Okay, so that's going to be my arc length that will go on top. So if I simplified this, all the way around my circle would be 2 pi. Okay, so 360 degrees changed to radian is going to be 2 pi. So it's just a different way to write a measurement inside of a circle, or on some of these graphs. You're going to be seeing a lot of radians, so you'll see them attached to pi's. Okay, so that means 180 then would be pi, because we cut it in half. 90 then would be pi over 2. 270 then would be 3 pi over 4. 45 then would be pi over 4. Okay, so you can kind of see how they work with each other a little bit. So we're going to fill in a chart in a second with all of that in there. If we want to do an easy conversion, so first we have radian to degrees. So if I start with my radian being pi over, let's pick an easier one, so pi over 4 here, I need to get rid of that pi. So there's always a 180 in a pi when we're doing this conversion. So to get rid of the pi has to be on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi, so my pi's are going to cancel. So my degree then is going to be 45 degrees, which is what we discovered pi over 4 was. Okay, so then if I start from degrees, I could multiply this. I need a pi attached to it, so this time the pi goes on top. Okay, if I multiply this and simplify, I'm going to get my radian to be pi over 4. So we have shortcuts, 180 over pi or pi over 180, depending on which way you're converting it. Okay, rewrite each degree in radian, so we're just going to convert it over. So if I need a pi attached to it, right now it's in degree, I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. So I'm going to get pi over 6. This is in radian. I need that pi to go away, so the pi is going to be on the bottom, the 180 will be on top. So I'm going to get negative 300 degrees for that one. Okay, so here is my chart that I'm going to fill in. I'm going to fill it in really quick and then I'm going to play it because we've already done them. Okay, so here are all of these that you probably want to memorize, especially if you're planning on going to pre-calculus. Remembering what these are, it will help you easily convert through a bunch of different problems very, very quickly. Okay, coterminal angles. This is the hardest part, I think, out of the whole section. Coterminal angles, two angles in standard position with the same terminal side. The next part, when we add on to it, will be a lot more difficult. So we're going to find the positive and the negative. So basically what you do is you either add or subtract 360 to get your full rotation, or you add or subtract 2 pi. So 2 pi obviously comes when we are doing radians, and the 360 will come when we are doing degrees. Okay, so my first one, if I add 360, I get 570. If I subtract 360, I get negative 150. Okay, this one I need to add and subtract 2 pi, but adding and subtracting fractions I need to have common denominators. So to get this to be a common denominator, we need to multiply by 3 over 3. So really what I'm adding and subtracting is 6 pi over 3. So 7 plus 6 gets me 13 for my positive, and then my negative, 7 minus 6 gets me 1 pi over 3. Okay, draw an angle with the given measured in standard position. So 324, I have 0, 90, here's my 180, 270. So I need it to sit a little bit before 360 and after 270. So there's my 324. My negative 165, I need to go the opposite direction. So it needs to sit a little bit before that negative 180. Okay, I'm going to convert this one into degree to make it easier. So I need to get rid of the pi, so the pi will be on the bottom, my 180 will be on the top. So I got 440 degrees. Let's go ahead and get rid of one of those rotations. So I'm going to have 80 left. So I've got one rotation and then I need 80, so it needs to sit in between that 0 and 90. Okay, rewrite each degree and radian. So we're converting it over, so I need a pi attached to it because I'm going from degree to radian, so pi over 180. So I'm going to get negative pi fourths. Okay, this one I'm going to get rid of that pi, so 180 is on the bottom, or the pi's on the bottom. So 72 degrees. Okay, find one positive and one negative coterminal angle for each. So we're going to add 360 and subtract 360. So 360 plus 365. I got 725. And then we subtract it, so I get 5. This I need a form of 2 pi, so I need to multiply by 7 over 7. So 14 pi over 7. So if I add it, I'm going to get 17 pi over 7. If I subtract it, I'm going to get negative 11 pi over 7.